following morning as well. So if you do miss a little bit, you can watch it the next day. It's great.
Carlos,
we are surrounded with bees here.
they're right above the chair umpire's chair as well. Like Carlos got to get a towel on his head.
You don't swat at bees, okay? Leave the bees alone. It's hard to watch this and not think of one of the greatest scenes in the history of cinema.
Bees! Bees! Bees in the car! Bees everywhere! God, they're huge! They're ripping my flesh off!
That is actually brilliant.
This is SportsCenter.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and it's a really, really light night in hockey. So let's go big picture and talk about some of those wildcard races because they're getting tight. Let's start in the East where theoretically 7 teams are battling for 2 spots. Only 5 points separates the Penguins and Islanders for that final wildcard spot. There are 2 teams you want to point out specifically though. The first is Detroit. The Red Wings lost again last night and that was their 7th straight L. And they're now out of a playoff spot. Since their last win, they've allowed 4 or more goals in every game of this spiral. And they've been outscored an astonishing 36-12 in that span. So not only has the offense gone cold, but they are getting lit up by everyone. Over those 7 games, Alex DeBrincat, Lucas Raymond, JT Compher, Robbie Fabry, and Patrick Kane have combined to score a total of 6 goals and only 14 points. That's not enough offense. Everything is going wrong right now for Detroit, but the same cannot be said about Buffalo. Yeah, they got a couple of games in hand on the teams ahead of them, but they're now just 3 points back of that final wildcard spot, and are playing some of their best hockey of the season. Coincidentally, they're also 3-1 since acquiring Bowen Byram from the Avalanche, and he's been playing on the top pair with Rasmus Dahlin, and has 5 points in his first 4 games. Perhaps more important to their success, though, has been the play of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. The 25-year-old is 8-2-1 in his last 11 starts, with a .929 save percentage. Those are unreal numbers. And on the season, he's 12th among all goalies in goals saved above expected. Over in the West, the wildcard race is not as intriguing, but there's still one major storyline. Could Vegas actually miss the playoffs? The Golden Knights are 3-6-1 in their last 10, and have only won 4 games over the last 14. And the Wild are rolling, along with Kirill Kaprizov. Is this perhaps some kind of karma for Vegas? Maybe the house doesn't always win, eh? To the NFL, and free agency does not appear to be slowing down at all, as we have had plenty more moves over the last 24 hours. Let's start with the Bears, who made a big trade. And it wasn't the trade fans were expecting. Justin Fields was not involved. Instead, they acquired a new weapon for whoever's playing quarterback next season, as they added Keenan Allen from the Chargers for a 4th-round pick in next month's draft. The Chargers needed to shed some salary, and Allen has a $34.7 million cap hit for next season. And within 2 days, both him and wide receiver Mike Williams are both gone, as Williams was released as a cap casualty earlier in the week. Allen may be 32, but it's not like he's slowing down. He was a monster last season, as he had a career-high 108 receptions, also hitting the 1,200-yard mark and hauling in 7 tutties. So one receiver leaves the division and another enters, as Patrick Mahomes got a pretty nice weapon in Hollywood Brown. The former Raven and Cardinal signed a 1-year, $11 million deal with the Chiefs. And after the signing, the text message exchange between him and Andy Reid started to go viral. Wait, this can't be real. Look at all the emojis these boys are using. Wow. I thought emojis were just for girls. And like Andy Reid signing his full name, come on. I guess he wants to make sure he knows who it is, but still. And we got some big news this afternoon as Aaron Donald has officially announced his retirement. And the Rams had a hilarious post celebrating one of the best defensive tackles in NFL history with a picture of Donald and the caption, "Quarterbacks rejoice." To soccer, and it was a massive day, as both the Champions League and Europa League quarterfinal draws were held. And this is one of the most loaded quarters we can remember in Champions League, and these are 8 of the biggest teams in the world. Because of that, we got some banger matchups. Let's start with the biggest, as tournament favorites Man City will take on Real Madrid. Now the winner of that matchup gets the winner of this heavyweight tilt between Bayern and Arsenal. On the other side of the bracket, we've got PSG and Barca, and Dortmund taking on Atletico. So yeah, one side of the bracket is a little more of a gauntlet than the other. What also makes this draw so fun is that these are matchups we've seen a ton of recently. Bayern and Arsenal have played 12 times since 2012. For Real and City, it's their 4th meeting in the last 5 years. PSG and Barca had 12 games since 2012 as well. While Dortmund and Atletico, not so much, but they did meet for 2 group stage games back in 2018. Now for Arsenal fans, those previous ties were ones to forget, as the last 3 meetings were not pretty for the Gunners, with Bayern beating them 5-1 in all 3 games. That's 15-3 over those games. It's an exciting time for those of us in Canada as well, especially when you work with a bunch of soccer fans who all have chosen different teams to cheer for. It's been mayhem at the office. Time now for my favorite segment and yours, Why We Love Sports Today.
Why we love sports today.
This is absolutely wild. Honestly, looking at this, I thought it was AI for a second. How is this real? Who thought about this? Aren't you scared of going through the ice? I guess not. Then it goes on land. Now we're on land. There's four-wheelers. Like who? I don't know. I guess oh my God, it's cutting wood. It's cutting wood. That actually is wild. Now, I kind of want to try, but I don't want to fall through the ice, you know? All right, this next video is definitely something new. As this team is playing defense with no hands. Is this their way of trolling? They must have beef with this other team. Oh, here we go. Dang. And then they steal with no hands? And this next clip probably doesn't belong in this segment because there's nothing to love about it. If anything, we should rename this segment The Worst Person in Sports, because that's what this guy is for this week.
An easy swing into the head position. Didn't move a bit. Almost off the ground. Low to the ground he gets. Hey, that's a guy that dropped Will Myers' home run the other night. That's right. Wearing a black long sleeve shirt.
Ew, I hate you. Oh my God. Oh, what? And then the athletic shirt in the outfield, please. Athletic shirt with a knitted toque, stealing from, no, there's so many strikes, so many red flags. This guy needs to be on billboards in every city with a sports team. This is disgusting behavior. And we finish the show with Wes Chang to talk about tonight's Raptors Magic game. Great to see you, Wes.
Great to see you, Marissa.
Okay, Wes, the Raps have lost 5 straight and 7 of their last 8. And they're being outscored by 94 points in those games. They are 8-point dogs tonight against Orlando. Are you laying the points with the Magic to profit off this sinking Raptors team?
I wouldn't go as far as recommending the spread, but I would be shocked if the Raptors pulled off the upset victory here. The Magic have a huge mismatch inside the paint, and that's why I like Wendell Carter Jr. over 8.5 rebounds as my best bet. Look at the game log. Since the Raptors lost Jakob Poeltl and Scotty Barnes, all 5 opposing centers have had double-digit rebounding. The Raptors have owned the second worst rebounding rate in the league since that period. Wendell Carter Jr. himself has actually been playing above average. He's averaged 9.8 rebounds over his past 5 games. I am going to keep attacking this prop until the Raptors front court proves me otherwise.
Wesley Chang, a pleasure as always.
Thanks, Marissa.
And you can watch the Raps and Magic tonight on TSN. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all for today. Julie will be back here Monday. I'll see you Tuesday. Have a great weekend.